In this video, we're going to be covering ATAK, the Android Team Awareness Kit. It's an app that has really taken the public safety world by storm because of its integration capabilities. You can really integrate just about anything. Full disclosure, you can download it from the Play Store. We won't be covering that portion. We'll be covering the ATAK.gov method. There are some differences. The ATAK.gov APK includes some of the plugins versus the Play Store version of ATAK does not. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so I'm here on using my web browser. I am on ATAK.gov. We're going to go ahead and create an account here with ATAK.gov. You don't need to be a government entity of any sort. You can use any personal email account, whether it's Gmail or whatever your email provider is. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and create an account. In the box there, enter in your email address, and then we're going to click register. After clicking register, you're going to be asked if you are a United States person. After clicking yes, you're going to get sent a verification email. Go to your email account and open that link. So now clicking that link brings you back to the ATAK.gov site. It's prompting you to register with a certificate. You can skip that for now. You don't need to do that. Select a public user. Hit next. Now you're going to fill all this information out. So once you finish filling out all the fields, you hit finish. Your account is created, and then you may proceed with logging in. Upon your initial login, it's going to prompt you to set up two-factor authentication. It's actually required. You will not be able to bypass this. So easiest option is using the Google Authenticator. That's what I use. And it's very straightforward. You just scan the QR code. All right, so now we're all logged in to the ATAK.gov site. We're gonna go over to products and ATAK-Civ. All right, so now we are at the ATAK-Civ download page. This is where we actually have we have three options here. You can download the standard release of ATAK, which includes the bundled plugins that we mentioned earlier in the video. You can do the Civ small release, which is the Play Store equivalent. The third option is to bundle some of the plugins from the ATAK.gov repository. We are going to proceed with downloading our first option, which is the standard ATAK Civ release. All right, my download is now completed, so I am going to go through and plug my device into my computer and transfer the APK onto the device so that we can proceed with the installation. All right, so we're here on my Galaxy. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to settings. What we want to do here is allow unknown sources. This will allow you to install third-party apps that are not necessarily on the Play Store. So I'm going to go ahead and search. There it goes. I'm sorry, install unknown apps. We're going to tap that. And I already have it enabled, but we'd basically be doing this for My Files, the My Files app, because that's how we will be browsing to the Documents folder, which holds the APK for ATAK. Now we'll go over to My Files, Documents. We open up the APK. Do you want to install this app? We're going to install. app installed. So let's go ahead and open it. We're going to accept the end user license agreement. I understand. And we're going to go through and allow all the permissions for ATAK. If not, the app will not function properly. Allow, 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 allow all, allow. I understand. Hit OK. I understand. We can go back. We have to allow all the time for location. My apologies. Allow permissions, all files access. All right, so we are on the ATAK device setup screen. Basically here we can set up a few things. We're not going to go over everything, but we are at least going to go over some of the essentials, like setting up your call sign. By default, ATAK will generate an automated call sign, which you can change. We will change this over to ATAK Lab. Go ahead, done. We can change our team, make it any color you want. For this video, I will leave the default. You can also change your role, team member, team lead, HQ, sniper, medic. These are more tailored towards what the app was originally designed for, which was the military. But in future videos, we'll go over how people get a little creative and kind of tailor these to their needs. So go ahead, done. The next thing we'll do is jump into more settings. One of the things I like to do is go to display preferences and change over our units to Imperial. You can go right into basic display settings, unit display format preferences, and I basically go through and I change everything over. Decimal degrees, mean sea level, altitude units, keep that in feet. Again, this is totally optional. You don't have to do it. I like to do it. Miles per hour is correct. You can change your compass heading, bearing units, range units, feet and miles. North reference, you can change your north reference to your desired. I'll leave it magnetic north. And that is it. So we can do not show this hint again, hit OK. We're going to allow stop optimizing battery usage. All right, so our APK is installed. We went through some of the initial setup process. So we're going to dive now right into the top right, which is our toolbar. In our toolbar, really quick, if you tap anywhere on the screen, it'll actually hide the toolbar. Press and hold again, and it brings you that toolbar back. In this toolbar, you'll find shortcuts to some of the tools in the tool library of ATAK. First one being the contacts list, second one being the overlay manager, and that's how you basically can hide some of the points, some of the reference points you've added on the map. We'll show you that. Your imagery or map source. And these are some of the maps that I have installed here. These do not come pre-installed. These I actually got from a particular GitHub repo on it, and I'll actually show you guys how to install that in a future short video. The point dropper, there's an abundance of different markers and points that you can choose from here to drop as reference points. I am not going to go through all of them. You can feel free to go through them and find the ones that may be the most suitable for your mission. Next is the red X tool. Again, just another way to drop a reference point. If you tap and hold that, you get rid of that red X. The Bloodhound is just a measurement tool. Right? That's all it is. So yeah, let's dive into that tool library. So alert. If I tap alert, it basically sends an alert to everyone that is connected on my server. Brightness, self-explanatory. Up and down on the screen brightness. Casevac is just another emergency beacon, basically. So channels, I have this because this device has previously connected to ATAK server, so the channels plugin is enabled. Basically, think of like channels on a radio. It allows you to choose between different channels to operate from. Chat, again, self-explanatory. You can send text messages or data like reference points over to other people that are on the mission with you. Clear content. So this would actually wipe the whole ATAK installation and basically start you from scratch. So we don't want to do that. Data packages. Again, I have a few data packages because this device has previously been provisioned. It's been used in a mission, so I still have some residual stuff. But yeah, these data packages, they actually include reference points. And the ATAK maps, that's actually the data package of the maps that you guys saw in the imagery library. So the digital pointer tool just allows you to temporarily mark something on a map, just to help orient someone. Yeah, so the drawing tool basically allows you to draw different shapes on a map. Say you want to reference a particular area, you can do that using this drawing tool, and then you can just disseminate that out to your team or to whoever you'd like via data package or over chat, direct message, just like using the point dropper. So first person tool, it just gives you a ground level view of the terrain and 3D objects that are in tag. So there actually are some 3D objects in the point dropper tool. So if you drop those and they are in the field of view while you're using this first person tool, you'll be able to see them. So as you see them, kind of coming down, shifting around, just so you can get an idea of the tool. Gallery, I don't have any photos or videos in gallery, but if you had any photos or videos, they'd come up in your gallery. So geofence, since I don't have any shapes, I can't use the tool, but basically what would happen with the geofence, let's say I had used the drawing tool and I had a reference a 1 acre lot somewhere. I can then enable geofencing for that box that I drew, and basically anyone that comes in and out of that is on ATAK. I'd get a notification from that. Go to, probably one of my favorite tools in ATAK, just a quick way to find a location. So if you have an address, you can enter it in there and it'll bring you right to that, right to the address. You can also use latitude, longitude, and a few different ways that you can reference locations. Import, this is how you would import different files into ATAK. You can import data packages. Let's say someone gives you a data package on a flash drive and you plug that flash drive into your device. You can pull it into ATAK using this import tool. Same thing if you had like a streaming KML or you had some type of file on the web that you wanted to import. This is how you would proceed with importing Lasso select tool, let's say if I had some points on the map and I wanted to select multiple points to share with another user, or if I wanted to package those up into a data package, this is the tool that I would use to do that. Orientation, changes the orientation of the device, whether you want landscape or portrait. Plugins. So you'll see here, the ones that say available are actually the plugins that come pre-packaged with the APK that you get from ATAK.gov. And that's why I like getting the APK directly from them versus the Play Store, because some of these plugins are actually really useful. You know, the night vision plugin, the ATAK GeoCam, and ATAK ICU. Those are plugins we'll be touching on in future videos, by the way. But yeah, they already come preloaded, so all you have to do is basically just enable those plugins and you're ready to rock and roll. Quick nav, drop a point, and you can quickly navigate to the point. It's more of a bird's eye view of navigating. It's not using roads or trails. Quick pick allows you to take a quick photo. You can share this photo, and it's really nice because depending on where you snap the photo and when you share it, it actually shows a field of view on the map of what you took the photo of or what you captured. So it is a really nice tool, and I'll actually share an image of what it looks like so you guys can get an idea of what I'm talking about. So radio controls is if you had some other radios plugged into your device, more for like different comms. Range tool, basically another way to measure stuff, self-explanatory. Drop 2 points, gives you the distance between the 2 points. Routes, you can actually create routes and another piece of data that you can share with other folks on your mission. You know, just set up a quick basic route here. Plus sign, driving. Manual entry. Let's see, I'm going to come up this road here. I'm dropping points. And then we're going to turn here. Oh, a little off the road there. So once I'm done, I hit end. And that's a route. And then I can export this in a few different file formats. I can send it. I can see distances, elevation, I can change settings if I needed to, which I won't do. And that's pretty much that. So rubber sheets is really nice. What rubber sheets allows you to do is take, whether it's a PDF or a photo, let's say you took a photo of the map of a location and you wanted to overlay that over that particular location, it allows you to do that. It allows you to kind of make your own map. Track history is another neat tool. I find this especially useful in the SAR community, canine community. So you wanted to pull up your track, you wanted to see some breadcrumbs of a particular area that you think you may have searched. Track history keeps all that information. You can go back and see where you've been, see your steps, and it drops it, and you can see here, it pulls it up in like a breadcrumb format. Really useful. Again, I find it very useful in the search and rescue community. I think it's a very useful tool, very simple, but very effective. Video is basically, it's a video repository. Let's say you had some streams, you had links to some streams that were pushed down to you. This is how you would access those streams through ATAK. Settings I went over earlier a little bit. This is where you'd go and change settings. Play preferences. I showed you guys that earlier with the units. Network preferences, you would actually come in here to connect to a server if you had any servers. And that really sums it up for this video. I know it was a very basic overview. I apologize if I didn't cover something that you were looking forward to me covering. Leave it in the comments. If there's a particular tool that you want me to give an in-depth walkthrough on, let us know, and I'll be sure to do that for you. I can go on for hours on ATAK. It may look underwhelming at first, but once you really start to dive into the program, especially from a tech side, you know, when you start looking at APIs, when you get a server involved or things like Meshtastic, it really changes the game. It really changes the game. So stay tuned for future content. We're going to be covering a lot of that stuff in future videos. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one.